Hello everyone, welcome back to Microsoft Student Chapter VIT-AP University's official YouTube channel, and here we have the brand new series on object-oriented programming using Java, and here is the first video, that is classes and objects in Java. So basically we have two things to study here, and before moving on to the topic, let me give a brief introduction of myself. I am Adil and I am technical team co-lead at MSC VIT-AP University, and I'm also a fresher pursuing BTech Computer Science and Engineering with AI/ML. So let's move on to the topic. So the first topic of today is class. So what do you mean by class? A class is a blueprint or template for creating objects. Now what do you mean by blueprint? It's basically outline. Now for example, when you construct a house, you will first make a plan of the house, which is also called blueprint. And what does it show? It shows how the house should look like after construction, how it should look like. That is basically what is done by a class. So it gives an outline for creating objects. And what does this have? What does this class have within itself? The class has basically two things. Those are attributes or data members and methods or member functions. So a class basically consists of only these two things in it. And when it comes to characteristic, classes encapsulate data for the object. What do you mean by encapsulate, or what do you mean by encapsulation? So when you have a huge amount of data and you are representing it in a nutshell, or in a in a compressed way, that is basically called encapsulation. And exactly the same thing is done by a class. So class has these data members and member functions, and these data members and member functions are encapsulated within a class, or what do you say, accommodated within a class. So that is the characteristic of a class. So let's move on to the next topic, that is object. Now, what do you mean by object? Objects are instances of classes that encapsulate data and behavior. So, in layman terms, we can also say object as a variable. And what kind of variable? It's a variable which is of a type of a class. That is, with the help of these objects, we are going to access the properties or access the data within a class. So what is the data within a class? It's nothing but data members and member functions. So we are going to access those data members and member functions with the help of these objects. Now, how do they do that? Now they interact with each other by invoking methods and exchanging messages. So a class and object interact by invoking methods and exchanging messages. So what does it mean? So when we give a class, when we access a function using an object, first this object will be mapped with the class, and when we use this object, it is basically triggering the method in it, method inside the class. So that is what is done by an object. Now let's take a small example. Like I have taken the example of a car. Now this I have considered as a class, and this class has three data members. What are they? Brand, model, and color. And it also has three member functions, or basically functions, that are start, stop, and turn. Start, stop, and turn. So this class is just a general entity, or a general thing, but it what makes it specific is these data members, like this brand, model, and color makes a car specific. And these start, stop, turn are basically functions which tell the car, or which is defined that what should it do. When we call this start, this will have a function body, and this function body will be executed when we call this function. And how are we going to call this function? Because this is in a separate class, this is in a separate class called car, we are going to access these methods with the help of objects. So I'll do the demonstration in the next class. for next video. For as of now, we are just moving with the theory, and in the next video I will do the demonstration. So I hope the concept of class and object are clear. Class is just a collection of data members and member functions, or is an accommodation of data members and member functions. And object is a variable that is used to access these data members and member functions. So that's all for today. We'll meet you all in the next video. Thank you.